Hello friends, and welcome to another video. I'm just proud of myself for even hitting the record button because I have been on the struggle bus lately, but we'll talk about that at some other point. First of all, I have to say, clearly this is a labor of love because I turned off my little heater just so I could talk to you guys because it was loud. Speaking of heater, what is the temperature where you are? Today, when I woke up, it was a crisp 41 degrees. But I refuse to turn on the heat because it is only October. And who is turning on the heat in October? Not me. Are you stubborn like that? Do you not turn on the heat until November or a certain time? I would love to know. I can just hear my grandmother raised me in the back of my mind, and that she would never approve of that. She would never approve of turning on the heat this early. But I digress. The last time I came to you guys with a regular format video, I was working on a baby hat. And so here's an update for that. Baby hat is done, and I made another, and I made another. So I will drop these off at the hospital tomorrow, and that way they can get two babies who need warm heads. As for the project today, I am working on a sock. It will be a pair of socks, but today it's a sock. You get what I'm saying? It is a simple moss stitch sock with a cuffed, with a ribbed cuff. So nothing special, just standard. I would have made this all stockinette, but because it's one color instead of like a hand paint, I thought it would probably be good to add some visual interest with the moss stitch. So that's what we're doing there. And I'll be excited to send these off to their beloved recipient. And speaking of their beloved recipient saved my Gein life. I will explain. So I think I mentioned to you guys that I was going to start watching the Gein show, Monsters, on Netflix. And I did. And I'm 3 episodes in. However, after the first episode, I was talking to my imaginary girlfriend on phone. And I was like, this looks so interesting and I really want to complete this series. However, I can't make out a single word he says. Like, there's just something about the way that the actor enunciates or doesn't enunciate. And I'm sure that's like in Ed Gein character, maybe that's how he spoke, but I can't make out what he's saying. And this brilliant woman said, "What about subtitles?" And I was like, wait, what? It had never crossed my mind to use them. I know it's 2025. What am I doing with my life? But there's something weird about like people my age, Gen Zennials, Gen X, older millennials, I think, where like it just doesn't occur to us the way that it does generations that are used to like doing a lot of multitasking. And I'm an Audible learner, so you would think that I would have already been on there, but I don't know, maybe because I'm always like looking down partially. Sorry if you hear my doggy coughing. But yeah, so the recipient of these socks, I think I just spilled the beans. I don't know if I necessarily told her that she was getting these socks, but she's getting these socks. Saved that series for me. So I'll be excited to complete that. I should complete it probably in the next week. Maybe by the time that I talk to you guys again, I'll have finished the series and we'll be able to give you a full review. But right now it is riveting. I like all the little nuances that they explore. Obviously, I love true crime. So it is, if you're not ready, it's a lot. But if you love true crime, I definitely recommend it. And speaking of true crime, I'm following a couple other cases. I can't remember the guy's name, but I'll put it in here. He apparently got into an altercation with the mother of his children where he ended her life, took the children, ended up calling his parents, and then like turning himself in-ish. He's on trial. So watching that, and if you're watching that trial as well, help me understand, why did he take the desktop computer? Why did he take the computer not the monitor. That tells me there was something on that hard drive that he doesn't want to come out or didn't want to come out. And I think it ties into the case. This is pure speculation on my part, but I'm just curious if you're following the case as well. I would love to know what you think about that. But that is it for my updates for today. Just finished those hats. I'm working on a sweater. You can see the sleeves for the sweater behind me. And of course, like I said, I'm working on these socks for my lovely imaginary girlfriend. Thank you guys so much for coming on back and watching. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we will do many, many more of these, and you guys can tell me what you're working on and if your heat's on and if you are watching the Monsters series. Thank you. Bye.